Ladies, gents, boys and girls, Papa Smoke back again for another video. Okay, so this is another weekly Lua video. So to recap, we've done Rada Lua so far, and we've done Petro Lua so far. Yeah? So the next nation of Lua we're going to work with now, we're going to talk about now are the Guede. Yeah? Um, so, first of all, let's have a look at how the dead are viewed in Vodou. And I'll explain some of the symbology on my Guede altar here as well. So, in Vodou, the dead are in a certain manner segregated. Yeah, you see, there are a number of things that can go on after death. If someone is wise enough and spiritually powerful enough, they've learned all the lessons in life and they've learned all the spiritual lessons they're supposed to learn, yeah, then there is a chance that they can become deified as a Lua. There are also extreme occasions where people have been that exalted that they have been deified as a Lua, such as Baron Samedi, who was a benevolent king, who was loved that much by his people. The power of that love helped deify him, but he was an incredibly powerful sorcerer anyway. And Marinette Pieltsesh, she wasn't deified out of love though, but she's an example of another extreme way that deification can happen after death, and this is if somebody dies in an extremely bad manner, they can become an intranquil spirit, yeah. So with her being witch burned and being an extremely powerful mambo, yeah, the energies from this made her an intranquil spirit, brought her up to the deification sort of level, the level of a dua. So much so that, like I've said previously, they chained her. Uh, Not that it did much good, but they did. Um, but anyways, so that's one avenue with the dead. Next avenue is to become an ancestral spirit. So if you're an ancestral spirit, you don't even have to serve your family line either. In fact, there are Vodou churches in Haiti that function as both Abrahamic churches and Vodou practice grounds, where they keep little urns where there are ancestral spirits that want to serve the community and not just their family line. They go there and they give advice to people from those specific places, from those specific urns and stuff like that. So there's a chance to become an ancestral spirit, yeah? If you dwell within the world of the dead, though, and you have your body was claimed when you die, you had a ceremonial burial and people were there to say goodbye and were proud of you, you become the Mo, yeah? So one of the Mo, so one of the dead, yeah? Regular dead. Um, if you were unclaimed or people, like say you were lost, or nobody mourned you, everybody hated you, you were a scumbag, or something of that nature, or a criminal, and as a result, nobody turned up to your funeral to pay respects to you, or you didn't even get a funeral. You know, you might have died as a result of crime or whatever. Then you become a Guede, not a Guede lord like Baron Samedi, but a Guede, yeah. So as you can see, the dead in and the worlds of the dead in Vodou are viewed a lot different to the worlds um, of the dead in other religions and other belief processes. Now, within the Guede and within the, well, mainly within the Guede, to be honest with you, there are the malevolent dead, so things like Vampi. Yeah, so people make a common misperception that zombie is a malevolent dead, but it's not. A zombie is a spirit of a dead person contracted for work, whether that's dark work, whether that's going out and finding new business and money, whether that's protection, whether that's in some cases healing, whatever. A zombie is a spirit contracted for work, a spirit of a dead person contracted for work, yeah? It doesn't have to be malevolent, but a vampire is always malevolent, yeah? So the malevolent dead, the vampire. So we'll have a look at the symbology on this statue that was on the altar. So you see this gentleman here with the top hat, yeah? Right? He represents the Guede, so not the Guede lords, but the unclaimed dead, yeah? And then we've got the next skull down that represents the Mo, and then we've got the skull below that that represents the malevolent dead, yeah? That's there to pay respects to them as well as to pay respects to the lords and the ladies. Okay, so the Guede lords, such as Baron Samedi for example, can all be accessed using this veve. There's a common misperception that that is the veve that is exclusive to Baron Samedi, and no, it's not. And if you're using that veve with that in mind, you're setting yourself up for a fall there, because that's actually a doorway to the world of the dead. You can even contact male vampire, male Mor, and male Guede with that veve, so it's not just exclusively for Baron Samedi. Yeah. So when using it, you must always do so if you're initiated and trained under guidance, of course. But if not, well, if you are anyway, you should know this anyway. Cleanse after working and banish, yeah, because you don't know, especially if you're not clairvoyant, yeah, or clairaudient, you don't know what has orifice or physical medium. You don't know what stepped through while you were doing that work, yeah, right? In my video course, I take you through the steps to lift the veil and to step into the world of the dead and to make your request and step out of the world of the dead and then even after that, after you've closed the veil, you would still need to do a cleansing and banishing, yeah? So working with a viv is like working with an open door, but it's not like a sigil in the way it's specific to a spirit always. That viv is specific to the world of the dead, to the masculine world of the dead, yeah? Right, so then we've got other, like, the other lower class Guede ladies, yeah? Accessed by this VV here. Again, a common misperception is that's just my man Brigitte's VV, but it's not. You can use it to access the Grand Brigitte and all the Lua that are in the female Guede class, and also all the female spirits of the dead. So again, that's a doorway to all the female spirits of the dead. So what I just told you about the other VV applies to that VV too. Yeah, I mean, when you do spiritual work anyway, you should be cleansing and banishing afterwards anyway, yeah? Even if you find banishing disrespectful, wait for the spirit to leave and then do a banishing ritual if you find it disrespectful. The reason you do a banishing ritual isn't to kick the spirits out, it's to close doors that you've opened so things can't come through and mess with your shit. Okay, so it's really important that you remember that, especially when you're working with the dead, because like the living, some of them are nice, some of them are assholes, some of them are placid, some of them are dangerous, and some of them are batshit crazy and out for blood. Yeah, right? So you've got to be extremely careful when working with the dead. Yeah, another reason, and this is why people work with the dead a lot, yeah, is in the Vodou belief and in beliefs that match it and mirror it and other systems actually as well. The world of the dead is the closest spiritual realm to the world of the living. In fact, it overlaps our world, yeah? And this is why people work with them, because they get potent, fast manifestations, yeah? Right? So far we've discussed the different types of the dead in Vodou, yeah? We mentioned a couple of the Lua. I'm not going to discuss a specific Lua today, because we'll do that another day, yeah? Right? I'll go through each one with you in detail, yeah? Um, Graveyard magic's the next thing as well. Yeah, so stay out of the graveyard. Yeah, there's a specific process you must adhere to if you go into that graveyard. Yeah, there are other Lua in there that are responsible for guarding the graveyard, and there are other spirits, like I just said, that might be insane in there. Quite frankly, there are some spirits in there just waiting for the guardian of the graveyard, yeah, Baron Saint-Pierre, to give them a nod and let them off the chain so that they can follow you home and make your life hell. Yeah, so if you don't want him to do that, don't do magic in the graveyard. You, by all means, go to the Day of the Dead and pay respects to your ancestors. Go see your dead family, do the graves up and that. I'm not saying avoid it completely, but what I'm saying is don't do spiritual work in there. It's serious. Yeah, they expect a certain protocol, and if you go in there to do that work, they expect you to know that protocol. Therefore, if you do not follow the protocol, they take it as a middle finger to them. They take offence to this because you haven't followed the protocol and believe you have chosen to do this on purpose out of disrespect, and they set the spirits of the dead on you. Yeah, they literally go, who wants to fuck this motherfucker up and teach him a lesson? Don't take anything from the graveyard either, without, again, following a specific protocol. There's another specific protocol for that as well. I know there's a lot of pop culture and a lot of people out there online and a lot of books talk about graveyard magic. There was even a really crazy story I heard about when New Orleans floods and the bones wash up and this crazy goth was nicking the bones for magic. Right? She eventually got caught and went to jail, yeah? You could say her getting caught and going to jail was a result of the spirits of the graveyard following her home and punishing her. Her life's ruined now. She was young. Do you know what I mean? Her life's ruined. Who's going to give her a job when they get her find out a criminal record stealing the dead? Do you know what I mean? Her life's absolutely ruined. And these are the consequences. I know of somebody who did a ritual in a graveyard, yeah. He used to call himself a Vodou priest. I didn't really believe in his authenticity, and obviously what he did confirmed it. But he was a big man, a big built man, and he went into this graveyard and he did a ritual on his ex's new boyfriend. He did it wrong, and when he drove home, his truck was taken out at a crossroads by a bus, and he's now paraplegic. So my last bit of advice on working with the dead, yeah, is stay out of the graveyard. Now, when you work with certain luas, such as Balon Samedi, for example, may come across with a jocular nature and have a laugh with you. Remember who you're talking to when you respond, yeah. Have a laugh back by all means, but remember you're speaking to something of deific power beyond anyone's comprehension alive today. Yeah, so remember that, because sometimes you can fall into that trap and disrespect him by accident, and although he may not punish you, it can be scary when he snaps you back. So, this has been Working with the Dead, yeah? If you're interested in this sort of stuff, if you need to know the protocols for working in the graveyard or working with the dead or anything like that, I can teach you this, but you would have to join my course to do so. The graveyard protocols will not be on the video course because I would rather people under my personal tuition, not just digital tuition, yeah, be took through it by me so that I know they ain't going to end up paraplegic or worse. Do you know what I mean? Any questions, feel free to hit me up and ask in the comments below. If you add anything you like, as long as it's respectful and relevant, yeah. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, which ain't the right lot. Aibobolua, and another thing we say when we work with the Guede and respect the Guede is Kwa Guede. Much love and respect, everyone. See you later.